everyone, my name is Sino Phillips Odufie. I'm so happy to have you join us on SOH Talk Show episode for today. Right here, I have two amazing guests in-house with me, in the studio with me. And the first on my list is Fadeke Awolesi. She's actually a credit operations specialist. Fadeke, good to have you here.
It's great to be here with you, Tino.
Great. All right, I can remember that it's been over like 7 years that we've seen.
Yeah, so I think, time just literally just flies. I can't believe the same thing as well.
I'm telling
but
you.
I'm so very happy to be here with you.
I'm also very happy to connect with you once again. All right, thank you very much. And on this other side of my seat, I have Tania Tahouf. Tania Tahouf is an analyst, and she'll be here discussing some very important issues affecting the economy with us right here. Tania, welcome on board.
Thanks for having me, Tina.
That Tania Tahouf, where's the name from?
So it's Syrian.
Really?
I'm half Syrian, half Nigerian.
Wow. You are full Nigerian, full Syrian, no half Syrian. All right, thank you very much, ladies, for joining me. Today, it's going to be a kind of, it's going to be a different subject, reason being that it is a bit, not pretty unusual. It is still within focus, but it is actually about something that was recently announced, and that is inflation. We had some conversations during the week that was actually thrown in by some of our audience. So we have some questions with respect to Nigeria's inflation. So today we just want to do that. Where exactly are we going to? How did we get here? And the first question on my list is, the Nigeria's inflation rate recently hit 17.33%. That was in February. And in January, we had 16.47%. So what do you think are the major drivers of this particular rise?
Okay, so the rise in inflation can be seen to increase due to the fact that food inflation was the major driver for the increase in inflation. It rose about 21% year on year. That's a major thing that we have to look out for, because when we had the issue in the north with the farmers and transporting their goods down to the south, that really impacted on the supply shortages and price.
The ban, that particular ban,
yes,
whereby the northerners couldn't bring their goods down to southwest and all.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
So, but inflation, generally speaking, in Nigeria, we suffer from what we call the cost push inflation, where we have rising prices, where we have rising cost of production,
Okay.
driving the inflation, whereas in other climes you have a demand
Push inflation.
pull inflation. So because mostly reliant on, I would say, imports.
Okay.
That pushes up the cost of things when your exchange rate is being devalued, when your exchange rate is depreciating. So your costs and inputs into what's being produced is essentially driving up the inflation.
Wow. Okay, so in Nigeria right here, we are not experiencing demand push inflation. We're actually
Demand pull.
experiencing
Cost push.
inflation. I see. All right, so Nigeria, where is the way forward, or what is the way forward? So I'll come to you, Fadeke. This question: how does this skyrocketing inflation rate impact the common woman on the streets?
So, when most women on the streets hear inflation, they think probably don't even know what inflation is. They just know things are getting more expensive. So maybe for like, Yafusa probably owns a booker down the road, and she sells a whole lot of amala and stuff. All of a sudden she realizes that she has to spend more money getting yam flour from the market. And that has an impact on the prices that she's going to be able to sell her meals at. So she has one or two things to do. She has to make one or two decisions. One is either she increases the prices of her food, or two, she bears the cost. For the normal lady who has an SME, her costs are also going up, because with the impact of inflation, we also noticed that energy costs too went up. So cost of petrol to run your business has also gone up, and that person too. So you found out a lot of, between January and February, you noticed that quite a number of businesses had to close down or lay off people. So in some ways, inflation had a pretty negative impact on us in the last couple of months.
I see. And from what you just said, you actually know that part of the consequences of this, or the impact, is that the Yabasira that you're talking about that has a book, I could probably pack up.
Yes.
Because I actually know of some dealers or some service providers or product sellers that when inflation actually hits 16%, when they realize that, or even when FX factor came in, because they had to import their goods down to this place, and because of the high cost and all that, they had to stop that business, believing that, okay, probably when everything stabilizes, they will go back into that business. So some way, somehow, it impacts business even beyond we factoring those particular costs into the cost of our services or products. Sometimes it actually leads to you even closing shop.
So sorry to interject. So I do have a friend that she's into the business of selling bridal hair accessories, and immediately FX prices went up. She said, you know, this brand of accessories, I'm very sorry, I can't bring them in anymore. Unfortunately for her, that was like her highest selling product.
Wow.
And she was like, you know what, Fadeke, I can't do this anymore. It's affecting me. I can't keep up putting in my own personal monies into business money. And that's what often happens for a lot of people who have SMEs.
And even from like the personal point of view, when you look at your disposable income, the income you earn at the end of the month, less tax, you find that your income goes less and less every month. You find that your income is finishing faster when you go to the grocery store or when you go to the market. When you spend 20,000, you start spending 30,000, and it's so silent that it increases every month.
And the purchasing power reduces.
Exactly.
Wow. So right here, this is where Nigeria is. I'm going to throw this question at you because it is very easy for us to analyze the problems, identify the problems. So what exactly are the solutions? And that is why I'm going to ask this question. Given all the indices as they are, what can Nigeria do to ensure inflation rate doesn't hit 20%? Because I can remember sometimes I was on a particular call on the macroeconomy, and then some experts actually predicted that the inflation rate for Nigeria would definitely get to 20%. Then we're less than 16, and right now we have 17 point something. So my question is that what can we do to ensure we don't get there? What can Nigeria do right?
So it's not something that can be solved overnight.
Okay.
If you look at where we came from in 2016 when we were in the recession, inflation was at its peaks at 18%, but then it gradually reduced to about 12%. I think that was last year. So the monetary and fiscal policies have to work together to bring that inflation rate down, but they're looking at other things in tandem with inflation.
Okay.
So we've mentioned that there are lots of other problems we have in this economy, and the monetary and fiscal authorities always look at these three things together. They look at the exchange rates, inflation, and interest rates. So something has to give. Right now, they're trying to keep currency under control, so inflation is the one giving way to ensure that the currency remains stable. We have analysts out there that are saying that the naira is very overvalued, even at its current rates. So it's something that I know that they have their close eye on it. But it's something that you have to look at the root cause and the foundation. And I think that's investments in infrastructure in Nigeria.
I agree with you.
We say that we don't have a lot of things. We don't, for one, we don't produce our own petrol.
Yeah.
With Dangote refinery coming up, sure, that
should
ease
help,
things,
yeah.
but that's a 5-year down the line type of thing.
So is it still 5 years? Because I can remember like 2 years ago we're told in 2021, 2022 we should have it up and doing. So is it still 5 years?
Let's see.
I'm very positive anyways, because should we have that, it is going to open up a whole lot of channels. For instance, even logistics, even for some other products, not just fuel. For some other products like gas, chemicals and all that. So I'm very positive that that would happen, and I'm praying also.
Yes.
Nigerians love to pray.
Yeah,
You want to say
so
something?
even piggybacking on what Tania has said,
Yes.
you know, when she said it's a part of what really affects drives of inflation for us in Nigeria is the cost of food. And so really, as a government, we need to begin to put in more money or invest more in agriculture. So that we don't have to import everything.
But Fadeke, are we saying that the government isn't doing that currently?
I think maybe we have to, no, not maybe, we definitely have to do more.
Okay,
so we have to
do
look
more.
at the farmers and see what sort of equipment they're actually using to farm.
Yes.
We have to look at whether they have enough money for fertilizers. Are they getting enough fertilizers?
Okay.
And another thing that I also know is affecting agriculture a whole lot in Nigeria is the fact that we have so much insurgency up north and in middle belt. So we need to be able to provide security to these people so they continue to go to the farm.
That's a problem.
Yeah, so that's like...
Yes, and I also want to highlight this, that even the attitude of the people has to change towards agriculture.
Yeah.
So everybody can be a farmer. You don't have to be that directly like being a farmer. I'm actually talking about you can invest in it. In forms of investment or even partnership or even direct farming or whatsoever. We can support that particular sector.
Yeah.
And another thing is this attitude of the farmers, of those people that are in there. I can remember government started up a scheme recently, not quite long, Anchor Bora. You know of that scheme? And then when a whole lot of funds were actually injected into it. And do you know what? It was time for these farmers to start paying back, and they were like,
do we have to pay back?
We don't have to pay back. We thought it was a grant and all that,
Yeah.
because people believe that any funds coming from the government is
free
money. And that is the problem. So how do we balance things up? So even the people's attitude, I agree that the government has to do more, but the people's attitude also has to change. If we want Nigeria to grow, to get to where we really want it to be, everyone will have to do their own quarter or bit. So it's been great talking to you. Honestly, I feel like just relaxing here and continue this particular discussion, but the time is really ticking. Thank you very much, Fadeke. Thank you very much, Tania, for joining us. I'm very sure we're going to call you back. We're going to call you back.
I'll be available.
Happy to come back.
Okay, so that's great. So, audience, thank you very much for joining us. At this point, we'll go for a very short break and then roll back in. Please stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us. We are back. And at this point, it is time for us to unveil the SOH icon for this episode. Let's open the stuff. We have Ibijoke Oyewole, the author of I Command My Day. Put your hands together for her, please. All right, we actually have amazing women out there doing great things. And this platform is a platform where we identify these women. We call them unsung heroes because they are doing great things in their own corner and also impacting lives. You can get a copy of this book. We definitely display those platforms where you can get them. Thank you very much once again for joining. My very beautiful guest, thank you for joining us on this show. Please have a great day.